Thank you so much, Doctor, for the questions. I think it's very significant, even for myself, when I was there in Jordan. We heard a little bit about it, but at least for me, I didn't know where to find information. Were there actually Jewish people who against the idea of State of Israel? We heard a little bit back then, 20 years ago. But especially after 7th of October, they are now very vocal at addressing this topic. And it's very easy to find those rabbis, the movement who bring forward their argument bahawa Israel does not represent Jewish people. Okay, if we look back into the history, like I mentioned earlier, Theodor Herzl, who is considered as the father of Zionism, he himself was not a practicing Jewish, and from his own diary, he hated the religion. So he was not someone religious, and the idea of establishing a state for Jewish diaspora scattered all over the world was not religious project or agenda. It was very secular. It was part of the nationalism that emerged in Europe at that time. Many ethnicity were having the same idea of establishing their own country, separated from Austro-Hungarian Empire, from French Empire, from Ottoman Empire. They want to have their own country, and also the idea of Israel and Zionism. All the earlier leaders of Israel, they were all not religious. Some of them were even atheists. You know, many of these Zionists, they don't believe in God, but they believe God promised them that land. Kan, betapa ironinya lah benda ni tadi kan. So if we study in detail, we can see the process of injecting religious flavor into the Zionist movement come gradually much later to develop a new narrative and to become the sentiment. So even the Palestinian people earlier, saya buka balik majalah-majalah lama, contohnya majalah Palestine Muslimah. It was considered as like the official magazine operated from London. So I read in Jordan, but it was actually printed and published in London, but then sent because they cannot do it in Palestine at that time. We still have archive. So bila kita baca balik, kita tahu bahawa even the Palestinians, they all knew their enemy are not Jewish. They don't fight against these people because their religion is Yahudi. It's very clear. Even the founder of Harakah Mukawamah Islamiyah tu, Syekh Ahmad Yassin, you can still find video. He said, we love Jewish people, they are our cousin. We have nothing against them. We are only against people who occupy our land, kill our parents and took over our houses. So we fight against Zionists, not the Jewish. Not just that, right from the beginning, especially Jewish who live in Arab countries like from Iraq, they rejected the idea of migrating to Palestine. They had no problem living in Iraq, but they were forced to leave and join the migration to Palestine. So those who accepted the idea of Israel as the land for Jewish people all over the world were bought by people who believe in Zionism, yang datang mostly ramai paling utamanya adalah daripada European side. Tapi kita taklah rasa hairan sangat sebab menyalahgunakan agama ni, istilah orang sebut menunggang agama kan. There's nothing strange about it. It happened even to us. In order to justify some political action, some things that we do politically, it's very easy to manipulate some verses in the Quran to support. And it's not easy for normal people to distinguish. Even because of that very specific theme, I sometimes become like self-hating ustaz. I don't want to be known as ustaz. I got stressed out seeing agama diguna pakai untuk macam-macam masalah politik. So, saya pernah post satu video pendek, 1 minit, selepas 7th of October. When we look into how Zionism manipulate Judaism, it should be an important lesson for Muslim to think how we might manipulate Islam to support our agenda. And we can become like Zionist. Even orang Melayu sendiri pun kan, ada yang rasa macam kita ni bangsa yang terpilih lagi bagus daripada golongan ni, golongan tu. We are fighting against Zionism, tapi Zionism is in our own self kan, macam memandang rendah pada orang lain. Bukan sahaja rabai, but also students of Jewish study yang intensively recruited to become the next generation to support Israel. They also now fight against Netanyahu and the country because now they see how Judaism has been tarnished by what the Zionists are doing, not in our name. That's what they said kan, daripada sekarang ni. To me, that is one of the good development that we witness nowadays. People who we haven't heard anything from them before, dah mula dengar. Even compare sebulan lepas, sekarang pun UK, temu bual dekat TV pun dah mula becoming more critical.